Hey guys, it's Evan the Cat King here with another video. Today I am going to be ranking the Disventure Camp Season 4 characters on a tier list. I have the tier list right here. I have all the Disventure Camp Season 4 characters. I did a video talking about like what the my first impressions of the cast, like after we just had one photo like released of them, and I made like a little like my first thoughts after seeing it. And since that video, some more things has come out about the characters. Odd Nation Cartoons has given us a bit more. Specifically, this is based on their, well, Odd Nation Cartoons has put in the community tab of their YouTube channel, so go check that out for any like information. And so that is what after reading all that, I thought, you know what, we got some more information. Let's give a ranking. So I have these tier lists here. The tiers are love them. These are characters that I just genuinely, I don't know why, but I just already really, really like them, and I want to see them a lot. I want to have, but yeah, excited. I'm excited to see what they do in the season. I'm very much like really I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do in the season, and I'm excited to see what their character can do with the season. Then we got intrigued, a bit less. It's similar to excited, but just a bit less. I'm intrigued by their character, intrigues me, and am interested to see what they are going to be, what their role in the season is going to be. Then we have Don't Care, who, well, I don't really care too much for their character, and I'm just like, I don't care enough. I'm not really interested in seeing them. I don't see myself really caring about what they do in the season, but ultimately, and then finally Don't Like. And honestly, I don't know if anybody will actually go into the don't like category. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. But obviously those are characters that I would just don't really like. But yeah, and obviously this is all, again, pretty much still first impression based stuff. This is just based on design and like the little bit of information. This is clearly, once we actually get the season, I'll actually be able to form more opinions. But either way, let's get into things. Starting things off, we have Alicio, and he is like an artist character. I'm kind of assuming he's gonna be somewhat like Bob Ross. But honestly, with Alicio, I feel like I don't really care. He has an interesting design, the mustache and stuff, like all that. He looks interesting, but his character just seems like he's not going to be really have much of an impact. So honestly, I just don't really care that much for his character. Maybe we'll see it, but as of right now, I really don't care what he really does. Next up, we have Logan. And Logan, I am intrigued by. Logan has an interesting character. He is a big like swimming athlete, and apparently he's an Olympian, as it says in the community notes. So he apparently was in the Olympics, and that is definitely an intriguing idea. The idea of, and like that's like stuff that happens in like Survivor, like when sometimes like celebrities or like pro athletes will show up on the show, and it's like, how are they gonna go about that? And it's like, I'm interested in seeing how that goes. I'm wondering if like in Survivor, those kinds of people often hide who they are. I'm wondering if possibly Logan will do that, but based on his other like character traits, I'm not sure if he'll do that, but it's still very an interesting character detail that is definitely got me intrigued to see what happens with him. Next up, we got the guy who I pointed out as like just the random one that when I was just looking at the cast while I was making that video, I was like, okay, this dude's my favorite. Richard, and I love him. I love Richard. I said in that video that he looks like a bus driver or like a teacher, I think. And I'd say I was pretty close. He's a basketball coach, apparently. I think I believe he's the oldest member of this cast, which, yeah, I usually like the older characters, and I don't expect him to be any different. Also, it is my headcanon that he still is a bus driver. He starts off the day by driving people to school, and then and then he coaches them after school. That's my headcanon. Also, he's gay, which is another fun thing. Honestly, that's actually really interesting to see like an older gay person, an older homosexual or whatever you want to call them. So that is a definitely more interesting thing. Like, Disventure Camp has definitely done a lot of like gay couples, and I think like I want to for like at least gay characters, and I want there to be a bit different. Like you can keep the gay type stuff, but I want it to be different. I don't want it all to always be the same type stuff. So having an older gay guy is something different as opposed to just the usual young adult gay characters. So I really like Richard, and I hope he does well. I don't expect him to make it far, but I'm just hoping he gets a lot of stuff to do while he is there. And I just went on a big rant about Richard. Ivy, I'm not sure about Ivy. Ivy, I guess I'd say I'm intrigued by her. In my opinion, I'm nervous that she's just gonna be a Gabby clone. Because she seems like it says like she's a very charismatic character, and honestly, she kind of looks a little kooky, like Gabby. So I'm nervous. I'm intrigued to see what happens with her. We'll see, but ultimately, I'm a little I'd say I'm intrigued by her character. It's not that I like. It's not to the point where I don't care, but I am nervous about her character possibly just being kind of just something we've already seen. Next we have Tristan, the non-binary goth character. I'd say I'm intrigued. I feel like a lot of people have put like Tristan as one of their like favorites right off the bat because like, oh, they're non-binary and they're goth and they're also like fashion designer, and I think that it's a very they seem like a very interesting character, and I am interested in seeing what they do. But I wouldn't say that I'm like super excited overly like or that I like love them or anything. I'm intrigued by them. We'll see how it goes there. Next we got Zaid. And what kind of a name is Zaid? And honestly, I don't care. Zaid can I just don't think that Zaid is going to be much of a character. He seems like kind of like Connor in a way, but like just we've seen that, we've been there, done that. He seems like just a nice dude, and I don't really think that he's going to have much of an impact in it, and I think that he will likely be more of an early boot if you ask me, but I think that I just ultimately I don't think that there's going to be much interesting about his character. Next we have Spencer, and I am excited for Spencer. I think Spencer, he seems like a very much more strategic character. The characters that definitely have more strategy based stuff are going to definitely be one of my I always like that. As long as they get handled well with their strategy, as long as their strategy makes sense and isn't just like plot armor based stuff as their strategy. which honestly I could see Spencer being that kind of a thing if he is like people have like been like saying, "Oh, him and Diego, they're going to be a couple." If that's going to be like a couple of the season, then that might cause him to just have a his strategy is basically he has plot armor. So, but I am excited to see what he does in the season. As for Diego, I think I'd also say I'm excited about Diego. Yeah, it's either excited or intrigued. I'll put him in excited for now. We'll see. He just seems like a nice dude, and he seems very like social and I'm interested to see what him and Spencer are up to. I don't know this whole situation here. I'm excited to see if that's like an actual thing or if that's just like a random thing for the photo. But he seems like an interesting dude, and also like he's a character that'll probably maybe resemble a bit like Tess from All Stars in that it seems like he's not one of the he seems like he might not be a character that wants to win the money, which on one hand isn't great for his character, but at the same time, if done well, it can be good. So he can go into the excited tier. Now we have Jade, and I do love Jade. I was like everybody has been putting Jade at the top, and I was just like they're just gonna put her at the top because of like her like the fact that like her like condition or whatever. I still need to look that up. Like I still just refuse to look it up. But now so I was like kind of just thinking, oh, she just looks like Lashana with extra like different skin type stuff. But now like after like so I wasn't really super like she was definitely one of my up like more liked characters, but she definitely became one of the my favorites because of what getting more details about her, the fact that she is apparently an animal lover and like a very much like I think it said that she was like be a marine biologist maybe or just a biologist in general, and obviously I love animals. My whole YouTube channel, I mean maybe based on what I do regarding animals on this YouTube channel might not show how much I love animals because I have them fight to the death, but I love animals, and I really that makes her just such a likable character in my book. So I love Jade just like everybody else. Now for Linda, and I feel like a lot of people have been like thinking, oh, Linda's just gonna be a sucky character. I'm excited for her because it doesn't seem like people were like saying, oh, she might be the villain of the season, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. It was said in the community notes by Odd Nation that she is a no nonsense type of person. And honestly, those characters are always those types of players and characters. I always love them. The no nonsense ones that just I hope that we get like good interactions with her, like just kind of just like just not taking anybody's crap. I really like it. Like Fiore, I feel like is someone like that. And if she's gonna be just the no nonsense character of the season, then I'm excited for it. Next we have Natalia, and honestly, she might be the only character that I don't like. I think that she just seems not very interesting to me. I think that it seems like her like design is set up to be like, oh, she's gonna be something different and interesting, and then you go to her character and she's just apparently a social butterfly, and it's like, I don't think that that's really interesting. Maybe I wouldn't say I really don't like her, but I guess she'd probably be possibly my least favorite character. So I think that she goes into the don't like tier. She just feels like just a character that like has a very like over the top design with a basic personality, a more basic personality, as if it's trying to be more about um like just getting people to like her, which I mean, fair enough. We'll see, but yeah. Next we have Marissa, and I'll put Marissa in. I'm intrigued. I think that her like whole military, she's big and strong. I think that is definitely a got some interesting things about it. I feel like she could very well get into conflicts with a lot of people based on just like her like base like her what she like wants. And it seems like she's the kind of person that is, I guess, looking to get everybody to be like as hardworking as possible, I think, or like as strong as possible. I think that was her character, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And I feel like that'll cause some issues, and I'm intrigued to see any like drama we can get out of it. So I'm intrigued by her character. Next we got Anastasia, and honestly, I'd say I'm pretty excited for her. It seems I could see her being a bit of an antagonist. The idea of possibly her maybe being a like flirty type character, maybe using like looks in order to like get people on her side. That's always an interesting idea, and I think that that's an interesting strategy, and I think that that is in a very exciting thing to see. I'd be excited to see that happen. I hope that's what it kind of comes down to, and not that she's just another like just some entitled pretty girl that like gets like humbled out, and like that's not too interesting. I mean, maybe if done right, it'll be interesting, but I hope that they go down the route of she like I don't know, uses looks to her advantage to get like guys to do what she wants. Like I think that would be very interesting. That's something that hasn't been done really in a total drama show. Like obviously they've done it with like Justin and Caleb, I guess, and Alejandro obviously, but like not I feel like it could be used more. It's more like they use looks to manipulate people, but not use looks to get people like on their side. And also they've never done it with a girl. So, I hope that's what it goes. I'm excited for. Next we got Ted, and I'm also excited for Ted. The fact that his like whole thing is like he's a poker player, and cool. Honestly, like cool. Get the poker player in there. Um and like the fact that he seems like he could be and he's likely to be an antagonistic character. It says that he's good at reading people, which honestly I feel like that might not ultimately be the case. He might think that he can read people well, but I feel like reading people in poker is very different from reading people in real life, and I feel like that could very well happen to him. And honestly, like ultimately, he seems like another very strategic more player, and I am very excited to see him. Next, we have Isabel, and honestly, I do not care. She's the nun girl, and apparently she's also an influencer. So there's two different things, and I mean honestly, I think that's and the fact that she's like it talks about like how she's a more modern style of like promoting things, which I think is definitely better than her just being like straight up full on nun girl. But at the same time, I'm still not interested in it. Like I don't find like the idea of like people bringing like a bunch of religious stuff into these kind of things very interesting, and I honestly kind of get annoyed by it. And also like we've gotten influencers. We don't really need. I don't think her being an influencer is going to add to make her any better that much. Next, we got Hannah, and it's either don't care or intrigued. I mean, honestly probably don't care. Like, I find it weird that they kind of, it seems like they did three characters that all have basically the same idea, and that they're like the seemingly charismatic party girl. That being Ivy, Ivy, Hannah, and Natalia. And ultimately, that makes me put Hannah and Natalia lower by default, just because I'd say I'm the most intrigued by Ivy. But at the same time, I am nervous about Ivy because, again, she could easily become a Gabby clone, and in that case, Natalia or Hannah could definitely rise above her. But ultimately, I don't care too much about Hannah for some of those reasons. Now we have Benjamin, and honestly, I'd say I'm intrigued. He's apparently just like a goofy guy that doesn't really take things too seriously, and I'm kind of interested in seeing how that like plays out. I'm interested to see how he will like how like if he how goofy he truly is, how that could affect him in the game. Like, there's just definitely a lot I think that could be done there, and I'm kind of interested in seeing what happens there. So I will put him in intrigued. And now we finally have the final of this tier list. I feel like this has been a long video, but Amelie or Amelie. I'm gonna put her in excited. She's another character that I could see very well being the main antagonist. It's weird. A lot of the characters in excited, I think, could very well be the main antagonists. I could see Spencer pulling a bit of an antagonistic role, possibly playing the role that James could have played in Disventure Camp Season 2, but actually going full on main antagonist in the end. Lydia, I don't think that, I mean, Linda, I don't think that she'll actually be the main antagonist, because it doesn't seem like she's actually very antagonistic, but people have said that she could be it, so I don't know. Anastasia, I feel like it'd be obvious, but honestly, she'd be a really interesting main antagonist if they go down the route of her, like, flirting her way into alliances and stuff. And then Ted is also seemingly very strategic, as well as Amelie. All the strategic players who I could see being the main antagonists I'm very excited about. And that is why Amelie is in the top spot. Also, she just seems like another interesting character. So ultimately, I am excited for her as well. And that is it. That is the tier list. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope I didn't ruin your day with this video. But either way, I will see you guys next time. Bye.